It's been quite some time since we've heard about aliens or any signs of life beyond Earth, but scientists just found something alive in deep space. What could this be? There are over 100 billion Earth-like planets out there in the Milky Way galaxy and likely trillions more that are suitable for life. With so many planets out there, it would be a shame if we were the only planet with life, right? Now, before you roll your eyes and click away, hear me out. This discovery has huge implications for the search for extraterrestrial life. The researchers collected soil samples from the desert and brought them back to the lab. There, they subjected the samples to a variety of conditions, including those that mimic the extreme environment found near volcanoes. What they found was shocking. The microbes were able to survive in temperatures as high as 70 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to melt lead. This moon is unique in our solar system because it's the only known body other than Earth that has stable bodies of liquid on the surface. The mission is expected to arrive at Titan in 2034 and will be equipped with a variety of instruments to study the moon's geology, atmosphere, and climate. Who knows what we might find there? The rover is equipped with a variety of instruments, including a drill that can bore deep into the planet's surface and a camera that can capture images of the drill's path. Scientists are hopeful that Perseverance will make a major discovery about the existence of life on Mars. For example, the microbes found near the underwater volcano in the Atacama Desert could help us develop new ways to survive in radioactive environments. And the discovery of organic molecules on Mars could lead to new methods of growing food in hostile environments. Unfortunately, Titan's atmosphere is so dense and thick that it prevents us from seeing its surface clearly. But that hasn't stopped scientists from trying. And it all started with a crazy idea. If we can find life elsewhere in the universe, it would be a profound and humbling experience. In fact, given the incredible discoveries that scientists have made in recent years, we may be closer than ever to finding life elsewhere in the solar system. I know I had fun writing it, but now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is there life out there in the cosmos? And if so, what do you think it might look like? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe we'll find something that defies our wildest imaginations. Maybe we'll find something that will change everything we know about the universe. One thing is for sure, the discovery of life elsewhere in the solar system would be one of the most exciting and profound discoveries in human history. I'll see you next time. It would remind us that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, and that our place in the universe is truly special. Okay, after all, if we find bacteria on Europa or Mars, it's not exactly going to change our lives here on Earth, is it? Well, it turns out that finding life elsewhere in the solar system would have profound implications for humanity. The red planet was once a much warmer and wetter place than it is now, and scientists believe that it could have harbored life billions of years ago. It would mean that there are other places in the universe where life has evolved independently of Earth, and it would raise all sorts of philosophical questions about what it means to be alive and whether or not we are alone in the universe. But perhaps more importantly, finding life elsewhere in the solar system would have practical implications for humanity. NASA's Curiosity rover has already found evidence of past liquid water on Mars, including ancient lakes, rivers, and possibly even an ocean. The rover has also found organic molecules on the red planet, further evidence that life could have existed there in the past. For example, a moon of Jupiter that is covered in ice and has a vast ocean beneath its surface. Another moon, this time of Saturn. Like Europa, Enceladus is covered in ice, but it also has a vast ocean beneath its surface. And it turns out that the conditions on Enceladus are even more extreme than those on Europa. The moon is constantly bombarded by radiation from Saturn's powerful magnetic field. And yet scientists have found evidence of organic molecules, the building blocks of life, on Enceladus's surface. The conditions on Europa are similar to those near the underwater volcano in the Atacama Desert, both in terms of temperature and pressure. Just like how we didn't find aliens in the Atacama Desert. But it does suggest that the building blocks of life are present on these moons. And who knows, maybe with further exploration, we'll find actual life there too. And we know that there is water on Europa because we've seen it with our own eyes. In fact, NASA's Galileo spacecraft observed evidence of water plumes erupting from the moon's surface, providing further evidence that there could be life there. This is interesting, but what does it have to do with aliens? Well, the discovery of these extremophiles, organisms that thrive in extreme conditions, has major implications for the search for extraterrestrial life. You see, if life can evolve on a planet like Earth, then it's possible that it could also evolve on other planets and moons in our solar system, especially those with similar extreme environments. It might not look like what you'd expect when you hear the term alien life, but this discovery is really exciting and could change everything we know about life as we know it. Of course, NASA has been searching for signs of extraterrestrial life for years now. They've launched missions to Mars and other potentially habitable planets and moons in our solar system. They also have rovers on Mars exploring the surface. And they even launched the first of its kind, a mission to Saturn's moon Titan. So far though, no luck. But what if I told you that scientists may have just discovered a new form of life here in our own solar system? In a recent study, researchers from the University of Berlin and the HTTP Observatory in Chile reported the discovery of a unique ecosystem of microorganisms living near an underwater volcano in the Atacama Desert. The researchers wanted to know if life could exist in extreme environments, similar to those found on other planets and moons in our solar system. So they traveled to the Atacama Desert, which is one of the driest places on Earth, to study microbial life forms known as perchlorites. These little guys are able to survive in incredibly dry conditions by entering a state called cryptobiosis, where their metabolism slows down to extremely low levels. The researchers were surprised to find that these organisms can survive for decades in this state, only to come back to life when water becomes available again. To study these organisms, now you're probably thinking, take Europa. Then there's Enceladus, of course. The discovery of organic molecules doesn't necessarily mean that there's life on Enceladus or Europa. Now, let's talk about Titan. In fact, NASA recently launched the first of its kind, a mission to Titan that will explore the moon's diverse landscapes, including its dunes, mountains, lakes, and rivers. Another place we might find life in our solar system is on Mars. In fact, NASA's Perseverance rover is currently exploring Mars with a specific mission of finding fossils of ancient Martian life. So you might be wondering why scientists are so interested in finding life elsewhere in the solar system. For one, it would confirm that life is not unique to Earth. If we can find a form of life that is thriving in extreme conditions on other planets, it could teach us how to better survive in extreme conditions on Earth. In short, the discovery of life elsewhere in the solar system could benefit humanity in ways that we QA uneven imagine yet. As Carl Sagan once said, we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Of course, we haven't found any concrete evidence of life elsewhere in the solar system yet, but that doesn't mean that we won't. Who knows what we might find on Titan, Europa, or Mars, and it's a discovery that could happen sooner rather than later. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed that little science fiction adventure. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Alright, thanks for watching.